Hello and welcome to Yoga for Long COVID with myself, Sarah, the long haul yogi. In today's class, we're going to be focusing on the psoas. I called this lesson Stretching That Psoas because, frankly, for me, in my mind, the psoas muscle is incredibly important when you have long COVID or other chronic conditions. So, most people might never have heard of the psoas muscle. It's a very important muscle in the body. It actually connects to your lumbar spine vertebra, so the lower part of your spine, and then it comes through the pelvis fully and then connects under here to actually your femur, the top of your femur. So it's basically when you have a tight psoas, which you will do if you have a lot of sitting, if you have a more sedentary lifestyle. So, for instance, if you have long COVID or if you're in a desk job where you're sitting for 8 hours a day or more, then your psoas will get tighter and tighter, and you will get symptoms like what people just call sciatica. I mean, obviously, sciatica is a slightly different thing, but a lot of people say that when they have lower back pain that it's sciatica, when actually it could be a tight psoas. So you could have mid to lower back pain, you could have hip pain and tightness, you could have pelvic pain, you can even have knee pain from the psoas. So in this class today, we're going to be focusing on really giving it a good stretch out, a lot of attention. So it might actually be quite an intense practice for some people. So, as I always say, just listen to your body. If something doesn't feel good, don't stretch further than feels comfortable, and never move into pain. If you have a lot of discomfort or pain, then stop immediately and just rest. Also, if you're low in spoons today, you might find a few of these poses quite challenging. So I'll give some directions for that, for taking longer rest breaks. And there's also a couple of opportunities to deepen the practice if you do have the spoons to do so today. As you can see, we will be requiring a chair for today's practice. So grab a chair. It can be any kind of chair, really, not an armchair or sofa, unfortunately, because we're going to be straddling our legs over it today. I also don't recommend an office chair unless you want to have a fun time with the wheels. But let's get started. So just come into a lying down position and we'll start with our warm-up exercises. And just settle in, close your eyes. And just settle into how your body's feeling right now. How's your breath right now? Is it easy and calm? Does it feel constricted? Just try and neutrally witness what's happening in your body. Is your heart beating slowly or does it feel fast right now? And then see if you can find any areas in your body where you're holding, where your muscles are a bit tight right now. And if you find any, just see if you can let them go floppy. Just completely relax all your muscles to start with. So we'll just start with a little bit of belly breathing. So you don't need to really take really deep breaths or really extend your inhales or exhales. Just do what feels right for you. But place one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly area. And we're just going to see whether we can breathe in a way where the hand on the belly is the one that's moving rather than the hand on the chest. So let's just see if we can do that for a few breaths. So for some people, this might be straightforward. If you have some dysfunctional breathing, then it might be more challenging. If your hand on your chest is moving, that's fine. That's fine. Just see if over time, with some practice, you can keep it more in your belly rather than your chest area. So next, for the chest, the hand on the chest is actually going to go kind of just in your mid-back, just underneath like where your arch is of your spine. And this time, when you take an inhale, just see if you can push into the belly hand, but also into the hand at the back. To see if you can expand your lungs like a balloon into your back as well. Don't need to force, doesn't need to be a huge movement. See if you can feel it in your back as well. An option while you're doing this is to lengthen the exhale on a couple of breaths if you want to. You don't have to. Just lengthening the exhale can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, make you feel calmer. Okay, so now we're going to move both hands and we're actually going to place our fingers on the lower rib area, and the thumb is going to go towards the back. So it's almost like you're hugging your rib cage with your hands. And this time, I'm going to just see as an experiment whether you can take a breath and push these hands to the side outwards. Just see if you have that available to you. Just go at your own pace. Again, it doesn't need to be a very big movement. No forcing, pushing. Just see what's possible today. If there's a diaphragmic breathing exercises, we're mindfully focusing on a breath and seeing if we can expand the lung volume gently and carefully, which in turn oxygenates the blood more, which in turn goes more to your organs, which in turn can promote healing. Okay, so we'll finish that. So just put your hands by your sides. And then we're going to gently open our eyes back in the room. I'm going to start off with some range of motion joint warm-up exercises. So we're going to start by moving our head carefully from one side to the other, just nice and slowly and carefully in your own time. With these exercises, if you are a very flexible, hypermobile person, please don't go all the way to your range of flexibility. Do a little bit less. Okay, we're going to nod a head up, so chin to chest, and back. Look up, and then nod a head up, and back. One more. And we're going to shrug our shoulders up towards the ears, and down, up, and down. And see if we do some shoulder rolls. Do like a circular motion. It's a bit harder lying down. So one direction, and then the opposite direction. Hands up into the air and make some gentle fists, and we're going to just rotate the wrists one way and then change direction the other way. Okay, bring your knees up and bring your knees into your hands, and then we're going to open our hips, do circular motions with the knees. So big circles around in your own time. Just really warming up our hip joints, which we will be needing for this class, and change direction. Okay, and stop. And then we're going to just lift our feet up in the air and back down. So we're flexing our knees, warming up the knees. Okay, and hold on to the legs, and then we're just going to do some rolls with the ankles as well. One direction and the other direction. Lovely. Okay, so plant your feet on the floor, knees are bent. And we're just going to start off with some pelvic tilts. It doesn't look like much on camera. It's a smaller motion. But basically what we're doing is we're going to tuck our navel in, and the hip, basically the pelvis tilts so that the tailbone is up in the air, and then we're going to bring it back onto the ground. So just in your own time, just do some tilts. It's a very small movement really to engage as muscles that are not getting well utilized, I promise. Just slowly tilt it up and back down. Knees are parallel. And back down. Just do a couple more of these. This is also a helpful core strength exercise if you have POTS or dysautonomia. Okay, so we're going to put our right leg to the ground, and we're going to bring the left knee in and hug it in so your knee is kind of going towards your armpit. Just a nice stretch. The right hip is firmly planted on the ground. Both shoulder blades are on the ground. Neck is long. Keep breathing. And extend it out, and then we'll pick up the right knee. Do the same thing. And hug it in. Feel that nice stretch. Make sure your shoulders are both on the ground. Jaw is unclenched. Okay, and release. So bend both knees, feet are planted. We're going to bring our right foot over the left thigh so that your hip is open, knee to the side. So if this feels like enough for you today, you can stay here. There's an option to lift the left foot off the ground. You can do a little bit, or you can hook your hands through behind the thighs and come in for a deeper stretch. Just do what feels right today to where you're going to feel something happening, but don't force it into something that's too intense. Keep breathing. Release that back down to the ground. We're going to swap feet. So left foot on right thigh. Oh, is that a big click in my knee? Okay, and then bring it up to where feels good for you today. This is a really lovely hip opener. It's actually a good psoas stretching position that is doable every day of the week, really, if this is an area where you have a lot of tension, tightness. You can feel very intense these stretches if you do have a very contracted psoas muscle. Just be kind with yourself, don't force it. Okay, release that back down. And roll onto our side. And then slowly come up into a seated position. Nice and gently does it. It's going to come into a cross-legged position. Okay, we're going to do some torso circles or sufu rolls. There's lots of different names for this. So basically your hands are on our knees and we're just going to see if we can move our torso around. So kind of like giving your whole pelvic area a really big massage. Just go at your own pace. You can also experiment with smaller circles or really big circles. When you're ready, change direction. I find that this always feels really good to me. Don't know about you. Okay, we come to a stop when you're ready. And we're going to put one right hand on the ground, left arm up in the air, and just gently go over to the side. You don't need to go really far, just until you're feeling a nice stretch down your side body. Option to look up at the ceiling if you wish. And gently release out of that. And then right arm up and do the other side. Gently, gently feel into that stretch. Okay, release out. So have one gentle twist. So we'll put the right hand on the left knee, a deep breath in, spine's long, and then an out breath to slowly, slowly twist to look behind you. No forcing. Go to your natural range of motion. Keep breathing. Twists are so helpful for us for respiratory health, for digestive health, for spine health. That could go on. Okay, release up that. And the opposite, so left hand and right knee. Deep breath in, spine is long. And breathe out and slowly twist behind you. The right hand is planted on the ground behind you. Keep breathing. And release. Okay, so the next few exercises might feel a bit intense. So I just want you to go to the motion that feels right. And if anything doesn't feel right for you today, then just stop. So we're going to extend the right leg out to the side. So it can be very minimal or it can be a wider stretch. Just do what feels right for you. Just get comfy like this. In positions like this, we're obviously giving our psoas a really lovely stretch. So option to stay here, or if you'd like, you can slowly with your hand towards the leg, just kind of ease over, and then you're just kind of twisting your body open, and you can bring the other hand overhead. Nice opening. Keep breathing. Feel free to release any time. Oh, you can have your knee bent as well if this is uncomfy. Okay, and release. Give your knee a little jiggle. Okay, so option to do that same stretch again, or if you'd like to take it a bit further, you can try and reach for your foot. So deep breath in, spine long, and then see if we can grab hold, maybe a toe or something. And we can bring the other hand overhead or reach for it too. If you can't reach your toe, you can put your hand on your shin or something else. That's fine. And release that vertebrae. Okay, give yourself a good wiggle, maybe give a bit of a massage to your thigh. A bit jiggle jiggle. Okay, we're going to change sides. The left leg out. Might want to move the flesh from your sit bones, by the way. I have to say that before. Okay, so again, so we're kind of opening our body this way. We're going to slide the hand over and then reach the top hand over. Nice opening down your side body. You should feel this in your hamstrings. And release. Have a little jiggle. Okay. And then for the bigger stretch, you can reach for your foot And then you can either bring your hand overhead, or you can try and reach before your foot too, just whatever feels right today. Keep breathing. Please bend your knee if things are feeling uncomfy in your knee. Okay, and gently come out of that. So bring your legs out and we'll do some windscreen wiper legs in a second. And again, you might want to jiggle your thigh, give it a massage if it's feeling like, ooh, that was a bit of a stretch. Okay, we'll take a little relax by bringing your knees in. I'm going to hug our knees in a sitting position. An option to bring your head down if you wish. To see if we can return to a nice, gentle, steady breath. See if our heart rate has increased, if we can dial it down a few notches. And gently release out of that when you're ready. And then it's time to bring in the chair. So you want it like in the middle of your mat or floor space. We'll just start with sitting down. I didn't see where my camera was. Back a bit. Okay, my head's in shot just about. Okay, so we'll just sit in chair mountain pose for a minute. So you're sitting upright, your core is engaged, your hands can be on your lap, the knees are at right angles, and we'll just arrive here in this different position. See if we can elongate our spine a bit more. Spine is long. See if you can feel a little string coming out of the top of your head and pulling yourself gently upwards. So if you're low in spoons today, then I'd rather you stay here, or in fact go down back to lying Shavasana. So please listen to your body. I don't want you to push if you don't feel up to it today. But if you like to proceed, we're going to come over to the edge of the chair and we're going to open our legs into goddess pose. So our feet are outwards. You can experiment with how open it is. It doesn't have to be your full motion. Just come to what feels comfy. Core is engaged. Just feeling a lovely stretch down our thighs. It's also helping with the psoas. So you can stay here, or option to rest your right elbow, right lower arm, and then reach up to the sky with your left arm. You can look up towards your hand up there. Keep breathing. This might feel intense for some people, so I really would recommend that you don't do it if it doesn't feel right for you today. Okay, come back down, and we'll change arms. And release. We'll bring our thighs back together, and again, kind of do a bit of a windscreen wipe motion. Make sure it's released, like you're not holding on to tension in your muscles between motions. Okay, so next we're going to straddle the whole chair. So bring your, actually come to the side, so you're in the forward, like you're in the Tadasana position, this to one side, and then we're going to bring the back like this. So we start off with a lunge. So what we want is for our front leg to be in a right angle. So your ankle is below your knee directly. And then we want to have a nice forward facing pelvis. So your hips are both in the right position, same position, and your foot is engaged. So you're on the balls of your foot. You can bend your knee a bit, or you can straighten the knee. And then we can have our hands to the side there. And just see if you can just allow your weight to go into the chair. So you're not holding yourself upright in a standing position, but you're letting your weight fall on, like, so your weight is your thigh and your pelvis are resting into the chair. Look forward, keep breathing. Okay, then we're going to drop the heel to the ground. So your foot is facing forwards. And we're going to open out. Oh, and so the hips turn to the side too. So now you're facing forwards. Sorry, it's the first time I've done chair warrior with the class. And our hands are going out to this, arms are going out to the side. We're going to look towards our front hand. And again, all of your weight is going into the chair. So what we're doing here is more of a stretch and a strengthen rather than a really active warrior pose. Anytime your arms feel tired, it's fine to have them down by your sides. Just do what feels right for you today. Okay. We'll release out of that. So bring your back leg back around. And we're actually going to just fold. So with a straight spine, we're going to fold forward to a forward fold, just letting our body hang. So our torso is resting on our thighs. Our head is hanging long, neck is soft. Hands can touch the floor. We'll just rest here before we try the other side. Okay, so very slowly, vertebra by vertebra, bring yourself back up. Very, very slowly. Or just stay in the seated position for a minute to make sure your blood is not rushed to your head. Make sure you feel okay, not dizzy. Always listen to your body, what it's telling you. Okay, if you feel ready to do so, I'm going to swivel over to the other side, and then we're going to bring the other, so plant our foot on the floor, and we're going to bring the other leg back around into a lunge. So front knee is above the ankle, back foot is flexed, back knee can be bent or straight, up to you, and the hips are both pointed forwards, hands resting on the chair, and just let the weight of your body sink into the chair's support. I know this might feel like a very intense stretch for you today. Feel free to come out of it early if you need to. Okay, and gently we're going to put the back heel on the ground and pivot around so our hips are pointed forwards. And then we can extend our arms and look towards the front hand. Abdomen's engaged, so navel's going towards the spine. Shoulders are down away from ears. And again, just be conscious of the fact that your whole body weight should be sinking into the chair. It's not an active pose today. We're having a stretching pose. Feel free to bring your arms down if they're getting tired. Okay, gently we'll release out of that. Bring your back leg around again. And again, we'll go into a seated forward fold. So spine is long. Just bring pivot at the hips. And then slowly let your whole body hang down. Try and go floppy like a rag doll. And relax. Keep breathing. Check that your forehead is relaxed, not tense. Go gently in your own time. We're going to slowly come up to sitting. So vertebra by vertebra, just slowly uncurl your spine very gently and easily. And we'll just stay seated in mountain pose, just letting our blood return to where it needs to be. Okay. So when you're ready, transition to the floor. There's an option to lie in Shavasana, so just flat on your back. Or if you'd like to, you can use the chair to come into a version of legs up the wall pose. Entirely up to you. If you'd like to do the legs at the wall pose, what we're going to do is sit down and bring our bum towards the bottom of the chair, and then just lie back and bring our legs up onto the chair, like so. It's going to feel like a very nice restorative pose, but feel free to just lie flat in Shavasana without the chair if you wish. Feel free to grab a blanket or a jumper or anything if you'd like to feel warmer for the relaxation.